Hello, good morning. Welcome to Your View. I am Murayo Afo Labi Brown. As always, I have my lovely co-host here. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Doko, can I have my pen, please? Thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm very fine. The rain, I love when it rains. The sad part about it is that the roads are so bad that people tend to, I am facing some challenges with moving around.
As a new driver, just had to mention that.
And there's a major ditch, crater safe. If you want to turn on the express, when you're about to turn into, in front of corn oil, I think, if you want to turn on the express, that's the express to Ibadan, I don't know. Lagos Ibadan Expressway. It's a very, very deep. I know we have important people watching.
Find out who your local government chairman is.
It's not local government, it's a federal government. The state government can step in. It's a federal road, but state government, please step in. That place, there's major hold, it causes major traffic. And my car is really low, so I keep
right.
Just,
okay,
please.
Join the queue that we all are going through. But I have to say this. This is fantastic tea.
I love the aroma.
Have you tasted it?
No, I haven't.
Please taste it. You will know what I'm feeling. Okay. Uwa, how you doing?
I'm fine. I went somewhere, which was it on Monday, and they were talking about, I had to mention it because they're talking about, I think the list that our vice president's wife wore. And there were some women were complaining that the list was too cheap. And I'm wondering, somebody else, the president's wife wore a wristwatch. People were complaining that it was too expensive. What do we want in this country? I think we should focus on what is important and just let these people be. They are under so much pressure as it is. You know, a lot of their privacy, they no longer have their private lives.
I wish I was the first lady at this time.
Do you understand?
Goodness.
I wear my slippers and I walk.
I'll eat my bully and my cream. That was that corn, the roasted corn, very well. If I eat an aso rock, you know what's going on over there? All right, Nima, how are you doing?
Very well. Rain, I'm flawed. Please, somebody should do something about Amu, Odofin, Ojo, Kirikiri, all those places I pass.
Where's that? Is that in Lagos?
Of course, it's in Lagos. If you don't know Kirikiri, then you don't know where your oil passes through. That's where the depots are.
I do apologize.
So you please,
I don't know these things,
try and know where the industries are, the depots are. I pass through Kirikiri to bypass Mile 2 traffic every morning through the Navy Town Barracks. Everywhere is flooded. All the way over the Beggar Bridge, down, all the way. Yanosolo, Apapa, flooded. Roads are bad. There's traffic everywhere.
Yeah. This morning when I was coming on the road, I noticed a lot of litter. Like
nylon,
pure water sachet and all that. They were just all over the place. So it's not about the government doing something. I think we should take our hygiene properly.
I remember one of our guests said last week Friday, said, listen, you are in the bus and you throw pure water sachet, and tomorrow the local government is asking for 15 billion
to go and clear
this when you are the one that caused this.
Yeah, so it's a bit, because now the rain is coming like every day. Yeah. So we need to take season. Our.
All right, we have to take a quick break now.
Dirt is easier.
When we return, we'll look through the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Yeah, let's start with the Punch. APC rejects Saraki. It's all over the papers. Dogara's victory. I'll work with the new speaker. Senate President says Buhari. President didn't convene pre-election meeting, says aide. You can see a picture here of Dogara and Saraki hitting their gavels individually. Nati asked President to recover 1.4 trillion naira from oil firms. Airlines seek fresh lifeline from AMCON. CAN urges churches to donate foodstuff to Osun workers. Forex dealer accuses Mbu of torture. Okay, we'll talk about the Dogara Saraki a bit later because it's all over the papers. So let's pick one more story. Who read this CAN story asking Osun states Christians and to actually donate food stuff to the civil servants? Did anybody read it? Or am I the one that read it?
I think, well, if we look at it at face value, the fact is CAN is supporting people. That's what it looks like, you know. But there's an underlining message to it. But the CAN Association in Osun State has called for contributions of food and clothing items to be donated to people in Osun State because they haven't been paid their salaries. For me, my opinion concerning this is that there are a lot of states that are struggling to pay salaries. A lot of states are behind paying their salaries. And Osun State shouldn't be singled out for contribution. If Khan wants to help out, they should take it on a
But this is Khan Osun talking.
Yeah.
So within that constituencies.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
But Mariah, how long have they been without salary?
I think it's November or something like that.
Last year.
Exactly. Is it that the government of the state is not getting allocation at all, or that it has just reduced?
No, I read it.
Now, if it has reduced, my question is, some higher government officials definitely will get their salaries on time, when every other person at the lower level may not get.
I read his reports. Aregbesola clearly has stated his finances are reduced by over like 80%. It was a report like 2 weeks ago where he clarified it, that this was what I was earning when I got into power. This is what I'm earning now. This is my bill. This is what I have. So it's a long list. He's clarified his name because he doesn't have that kind of money to pay the bills they need to pay. They're trying to make, and he also wrote what he wants to do to earn money.
Did you look at that report vis-a-vis what Okonjo said she gave to the states individually?
Did you compare?
So we don't know that. So we don't know that. So we need to look at both sides.
What he said he got. I'm just saying what he said he got was not enough to pay his bills, and he stated what he got.
But I think I don't know, in the papers today, Kaduna State government, they've reduced a lot of overhead, from 19 ministers to about 13, and also they are also considering slashing of the commissioners. Sorry, they're also slashing salaries. So for most of these states, I think they should just follow suit, because we've been shouting before that the cost of governance is too high. So definitely, because of the true state of the situation, we'll see things like this play out.
Okay, let's move on to the nation because we have very little time left. APC kicks as Saraki Dogara emerge assembly leaders. 12 APC senators join PDP to elect Senate president. Defiant reps pick Dogara as speaker. Buhari, constitutional process has somewhat occurred. It's unacceptable, says party. And this APC is responding, saying the APC leadership is meeting in a bid to re-establish discipline in the party and to met out sanctions to all those involved in what is nothing but a monumental act of indiscipline and betrayal to subject the party to ridicule and create obstacles for new administration. Other stories, 15 killed, 500 homes burnt as Boko Haram attacks village. Row over Ikorodu monarch's election. All right.
We want to talk about Boko Haram. I want to talk about the politics, but I just realized that we can't. Boko Haram seem to be.
Okay, yeah, Boko Haram.
Boko Haram seem to be back again, and more lives are being lost. I know that it seems as if it's a last attempt to remain relevant because the war is going to get stronger. However,
the good news is that they moved to their
killed, Murayo. We've had too many lives lost, even in the past administration. This new one, a lot of expectations are on the president and the chief of defense staff and all those people that are supposed to protect our lives to do something strong.
The good thing about this Boko Haram thing is that even the U.S. government, the G7 meeting that President Buhari attended, I mean, they stated clearly that it is not possible for any country to tackle insurgent on their own, and definitely they are, willing to help out, support. I think it's going to be over hopefully, very soon.
500 homes is a lot, but hopefully now that they've moved the base to
Maiduguri,
hopefully to Maiduguri, hopefully things get better. All right, let's move on to Vanguard. National, as I said, this is all over the papers. National Assembly leadership. How Saraki Dogara outfoxed APC leaders. While we are supporting Buhari, says G7. Rivers governorship poll, INEC ask tribunal to dismiss petitions against Wike. Boko Haram kills 15. And let's talk about Saraki and Dogara. It was very intense yesterday.
I'm split into two. The politics lover in me feels love for Saraki in terms of the smart maneuvering, politicking at the highest level. However, the loyal part of me says that whenever you go to a political platform that has brought you out, the entire plan should be as a team. Now, the APC made a statement in the Nation saying that the party leadership is meeting to sanction him for the betrayal, indiscipline to the subject of the party, and
Not
the ridicule.
Him. It was more of those that voted.
The party is bigger than one person.
Yeah, but this is not the first time it's happening. It's happened during the Tambuwal time. We've seen this happen in the past. So this is not the first time. The issue is that what we should be more concerned about is what is the effect of this? in the future to the people.
No,
Can I say
Brian,
that?
because you know,
Brian,
the clear effects right now, the one on ground, which is what hurts me, is that we have an APC that is just new, too young in its infancy, being divided and polarized by personal agendas. Is it true for me now? That's what I'm saying.
The change movement was about the people. Now I see a lot of selfish interests as against, selfless interests playing out in these elections yesterday. It was more about the PDP agenda yesterday. And for Saraki to know, to sell out his party this way, it goes down to the root of the matter.
Loyalty.
When we were moving this change movement, because I did too much for this kind of thing to happen. If the PDP now, the way it is now, is in leadership of has the leadership of the National Assembly.
They are not leadership.
They are in the leadership, Morayo.
Saraki is APC.
Did you know how? Did you follow the elections?
He is APC, but
he is not APC, because if you sell out your party to say, okay, I give the deputy to the PDP, it's obvious where your loyalty lies.
Is it possible that maybe he's being preempted to be disloyal, such that people assume that, because he used to be PDP, maybe he's actually
Morayo, no, he has
change
never been a
agent.
conformist. He's someone that is always after his selfish interests. That is how he broke out of the PDP, and that is what he's doing again in the APC. That's the kind of person he is. About his,
would you be pleasantly surprised? Okay, let me come to you.
Can I
What
say
are your thoughts on this?
Morayo, as a Nigerian, and I know that we prayed so much for change.
Yes.
Change has come.
Yes.
And I'm so impressed with President Buhari saying that he would work with him. It doesn't matter whoever is there. We should not forget the fact that it is Nigerians. I mean, they know that we are aware.
Yeah.
He cannot go there and go and fulfill his personal agenda. So let us rule out that one. Let's be positive, for goodness sake.
But you see, I like your
Do you
optimism.
understand? I want to be optimistic about this move.
Which is
whatever
good.
the drama is, there's always that factor of this thing. Because in the papers, Bode George was saying that Tinubu has lost his relevance and all that, blah, blah, blah. I'm saying that whatever it is that is happening, we are seeing true politics come out to play. Hold on, Tokwe. Hold on. Whatever it is,
backbiting.
let me tell you what happened. Somebody put it this way, that now you have an exam to write in Apapa at, what's it called, maybe 9 o'clock, and they called the meeting for 8:30. You went for the meeting. I mean, you can't blame.
We understand.
You can't blame the move that has happened.
But we see.
But I am saying that we should be positive.
I hear you. But face value, we say let's be positive. But the truth is that those who are politically savvy know that there's an underlying
Lots of underlying
interest in this matter, because we understand also that for him to accept a PDP deputy, he has made some deals. Okay, you know what? I will give you this committee. I'll give you that.
This is not good for
which is
democracy.
against the party.
It's too early.
Party objectives. Because if we want to indeed cause change, if we want change to happen, we need to ensure that Senate and House is aligned.
You are crying for change. You want business as usual.
We don't want business as usual.
So this is an unusual situation.
Okay.
So I'm thinking we should be optimistic and embrace it.
Forgetting the power the House have.
Forget that.
Over every policy.
You're forgetting the power the House have over every policy that will come.
Okay.
So every policy is subject to this.
Continue to be
I think we should keep on
optimistic.
praying.
Listen, if he does anything
We
that
have
is
to move
against,
on.
if he does anything that is against whatever it is that that will move Nigeria forward, God will impeach him.
Okay. Daily Sun.
Amen.
Master, you are. PDP coup at National Assembly. We talked about that already. Let's move on to Orji Kalu. Congratulates Saraki Dogara. New DAG of Akure gets staff of office. Let's move on to the Guardian. We spent a lot of time. Guardian, same thing. It's all over the papers. Oh, is this Sun? Yeah, just finished Sun. How Saraki Dogara defied powers that be, intrigues as drama at National Assembly elections. Okay, that's all in the papers.
But I think he did his vows too fast.
He
was in a yes.
Because you know the kind of scheming you've done. You've left your party members outside. You know we'll take the vow quick.
But honestly,
I
You
think
had to take it quickly.
But I'm happy that Buhari did not go and
That's
choose
what
any
I'm
side.
saying.
He stayed in the middle.
No.
And I think just like Uwasi, let's be optimistic. Maybe we are only preempting that he might be disloyal. Maybe he might not be.
he might not
He has
be.
already displayed the first level of disloyalty.
Morayo, you've had two
Sometimes
instances. This is the
The
second
Bible
instance.
says you have to take power by
third
force.
one,
He
third
was-
one.
that's-
Okay, now,
Take it
yes,
easy.
his father,
He betrayed
then
his
the
father.
PDP, now the APC, then you know,
There's-
and you
there's
want to
a-
believe in that
So,
person.
but we can pray that whatever
He's a Sheku
decision
Sheye
he make
kind
in
of
favor-
person.
Sheku
Yeah.
Sheye.
He has a lot of baggage.
Let
Anyway.
me say that he has a lot of baggage, but the fact that Buhari stood in the middle it changes the
That's
game.
democracy.
He knows that he cannot
That
he
is
cannot go there and
democracy.
do his, he cannot build on his personal agenda. That's what I feel.
He has
But what
no
annoys me is
agenda.
that why they make it the personal than is a Tinubu factor?
Do you
Why-
understand?
Why are you making it, oh, this is against Tinubu?
And you know, there's something
Ayoshe said it and the other
there's something I need to
Well,
correct about
Body
this.
judge.
The Tinubu that they're saying, is it not the Tinubu that has allowed this change to happen? I think that man should just relax and just watch the thing happen, because the change that we have seen today, the fashola that we are praising today, the fire me that we love,
We're all a
he
product of
saw,
his school
he's
of
a product of his what's it called, his vision. He saw that there's something good in this person. So we shouldn't, I think
Let's
we
believe
shouldn't,
that God will sort the rest
yes,
out. All right,
he's
on
sort
that
it out.
note,
Offering.
on that note,
I'm optimistic today.
we end front page review. When we return, the inspiring story of a man who rose from grass to grace. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back. Tweets already. Welcome back. In a recent interview with the PM News, Mudashiru Obasa, a politician representing the Agege constituency, once shared his inspiring story of how he sold plastic bags, served as a bus conductor, and a laborer. Sorry, he was a laborer, all to make a living while growing up in Lagos State. He's now the current Speaker of Lagos State House of Assembly. What are your thoughts on this inspiring story of grass to grace? You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can tweet to us at YourView TVC. So you guys watched the speech yesterday. Who watched it?
I didn't. I read the story when our producer sent it to us, and for me, I was inspired. Most especially, I'm going to say that what touched me most was that he said that it's not that his parents could not afford to pay for his school fees.
Okay.
It wasn't as if they were dead poor. It was just the fact that he was desirous of always doing something. He said that I don't want to be laying about doing nothing. He wanted to keep himself busy. And if all he could do at that time was to sell what we popularly call nylon bags, the plastic bags, that he was going to sell, he used to buy it for half the price, and then he sells for more. And he was making profit. He was able to have cash. You know, we see many people in our society right now thinking that some jobs are beneath them, or thinking that, oh, I don't have money, I can't make it, I can't do anything. But we need to realize that it might be a job as a conductor. He was a laborer before. Most people don't know that the nice singer that we see right now, he used to carry what they call pong pong as a laborer for building houses. Now he's a big artist. It's a story that we need to keep, we can't overemphasize on grass to grace, working hard, the value of hard work.
I know someone who actually was finished school, couldn't get a job, and he stayed on for about 6 years doing nothing, just because he just didn't want to just take that plunge of doing all those menial jobs. Those jobs would come, but he was like, and he was just home doing nothing. So it's like, I can understand where...
And he's broke.
Of course.
And he'll beg for money.
So that kind of person, so the idea is that we need young people to actually look beyond the blue-collar jobs and say, you know, what is out there? What kind of problem can I go and solve? Nima, Nima. Ooh, okay. This kind of stories, you like this kind of inspirational stories.
My dear, but you see, this is what we always say, that, you see, who you are today is a product of what is on your inside, the context of your character, and I mean your vision about your personal, your life as a person. So for me, I always say that, you know, the mindset in our country today has to change. Everybody that wants to make anything out of life today must have this kind of independent mindset. That the fact that you have an uncle working in a big organization does not guarantee that when you are out of school, it is an automatic employment. It is not your birthright. Your uncle struggled and he worked hard and he got to where he is today. You also need to also follow that pace. I see this mentality of, I want it now. Most people don't even check the history. Look at Matthew Ashimolowo. He always makes a joke out of it that his bald head in the middle, you know, was as a result of hawking on the street. A lot of these people that we see today and celebrate, they have a lot of stories behind them.
But you know, using that example you just said, the uncle in the big company, once he's seen that you've actually been useful to yourself, you've done your own business, you started something, he'll be the one saying, you know what, why don't you come and work in my company? That we're looking for somebody doing something similar to what
Let
you
me tell
did.
you a story where when we went for the conference, the Excellence in Leadership Conference, and Fela Durote was speaking. And he said something that he's been looking out to meet this particular person all these years. But what he did was that he didn't sit back to say, okay, he wants to start looking for who knows the person that knows the person that knows the person. He said he aligned himself in a way that he became
A person of value.
a person of value that was in line with her vision.
Yes.
And it was an automatic thing. So
She was now asking for him.
She was now asking for him. But what we see play out, a lot of people say, that my uncle is a very wicked man. He doesn't want to help me. And I'm wondering, like, what have you done? How have you added value to yourself that makes you indispensable? But nobody has
Let me
that.
jump to Nima. This way when you heard the story of Mudashiru Obasa, how did that?
Tokwa has said it all for me. The truth is that in everybody's life experiences, you have one instance or another of this kind of things happening. I have a personal experience of this kind of thing happening, and I remember going to an uncle who knows a senator to help me get a job. And the way he acted towards me, my dad just said to me, that is a proverb from my language that when you get there yourself on your own, your uncle will recognize you. So I did everything I could to be where I am today, and my uncle is calling me today. These kind of stories they're everywhere. But the truth is that when you finally get there, like where Obasa is today, make it possible for other people to achieve their dreams with the position that you have achieved.
God bless you. I like that.
I want to give another instance of a live example. I was in a class recently and I met a guy. He's a salesperson. He keeps saying that I'm a sales guru. And he's a fresh graduate and he got a job. People say you don't get jobs. He went for an interview and they were like, oh, we don't need a salesperson. He said, no, I have sold earphones when I was in school. He said, I sold earphones well. I made people that didn't even plan to buy earphones, That if you don't have a department for sales, create it for me and I will sell your company.
Gotcha.
And as a fresh graduate, he got a job.
Let me take
created
a call.
job for him.
Hi. Good morning, Timmy. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead.
All right. Good morning, ladies in the studio today.
Good morning.
I want to first congratulate all the speakers and the senator. And I have a word of advice to the APC leadership.
Yeah.
They should handle the leadership of the houses well so that they won't make themselves opposition. Because the way the drama has been played, it now looks like PDP is actually acting that this is our plan. But what they should do, like Mohammed handled opposition well, he needs to now handle being in power well. We now have Saraki, we have Dogaro. They should manage the fact that these guys are APC members and stop using those words to give PDP advantage. Because right from the start, they are given the impression that they have lost the oath of leadership when they are in power. This is not opposition. There's a thin line between you speaking for opposition and for you to be speaking for from the position of holding the power.
Okay.
And you need to manage it well.
Fantastic. I think that's a good one. Thank you so much, Timmy. That's a good advice. Back to the matter.
No. I like Nima's line of statement, our last statement before I brought in my example, which is that when you get into power, what are you doing to empower other people around? Because there has to be platform. Even if you sold plastic bags and you were a laborer and all that, you shouldn't let every other person go through that process. You're at a speaker at that level, you should be able to put in policies on ground. What is he going to do? We want to help others. To help others. Yes. And every other person that has grass to grace stories, what have you done to help others that are in that grass society to move into grace?
Now, what I was trying to say, because I really love that angle Nanima said. Do you have a call?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I think
Victor, good morning. Are you there?
Good morning.
Morning, please go ahead.
How are you this morning?
Very well.
In fact, you see, this topic this morning, there's nothing God cannot do. It's a very splendid one. But my advice to the Speaker, Lagos State of Assembly, is this. You see, somebody told us this kind of story from grace to grass. From grass to grace. One time, the former president, I don't want to mention it here, but you see, I will look at it that he did something that Ojo Rolari. I don't want to mention names. You should understand what I'm saying here.
You've said everything already.
So what I am saying is, please, you should just make the change happen.
Okay. All right.
That is what I want to say.
Fantastic.
I congratulate him and appreciate him.
Okay. I think that's a good way to end this segment because actually...
No, what I just wanted to say
Okay.
was part of the line. That let us build a structure. That it's not everybody that has the opportunity to take that decision, because he said he had to choose between, that he did everything apart from armed robbery. Some other people, it is only
armed robbery they see as the option.
that is within their vicinity. But you see, if there's a system in place that helps young people that want to make things out of their life without doing anything bad, it will help to douse a lot of situations.
Thank you so
I
much.
think they should create a platform where everybody can grow.
All right, on that note, we end this segment because it was an interesting story to look at. But hopefully, just like last caller said, we won't just hear the story, we'll see the act. That ends that segment. Dining etiquette is an area of, that pertains to dining, whether at home or out at a restaurant. Etiquette in general is a series of suggestions and rules for behavior which are designed to ensure that people behave consistently and within the norms of politeness. Many people receive some etiquette education as they grow up from family members and teachers, and it's also possible to take classes which provide instruction in etiquette. Joining us to show us and to enlighten us more on dining etiquette is an etiquette expert. Oh God, I said that word like 20 times. Mrs. Joanna Anyileka, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes. So what's the first? Now we have the table nicely set
Yes.
for nice dinner because we like to eat out. You know?
Yes.
So what's the first step when you come into the restaurant?
Well, when you come into the restaurant, hello everyone. When you come into the restaurant, the most important thing is the actual seating of your wife, your guest, your host, or whatever. So I'd like to show the viewers exactly how a guest should be seated.
Okay.
So when you come into the restaurant, I'm representing a man here. Okay. So I'm to ask my lady friend or my wife to sit down. I gently let her sit down, but before she sits, the back of her legs must touch the edge of the chair first. So as she sits down, and now comports herself, I now gently move the chair forward. So that's the correct way of seating a lady at a restaurant. That felt good, didn't it?
Yes, it did. Very
And before
good.
we start, let me tell you, I'm already designed to be your etiquette specialist. When you become first lady, you will not be eating roasted corn in public.
I won't be. In my bedroom I can, but not in public.
Your own will be worse than there is Gojo. So let us start. As you can see, everything is laid out.
Yes.
Normally, there would be a soup plate. This is for more continental soup rather than the soup as we understand it. So because of time, I'm going to go through everything very quickly. This is a soup spoon. So when the soup is on the plate, you would now take a little, use it to wipe the edge of the plate away from you, and you will now take the soup.
We usually put it this way, you know, like...
Yes, people usually hold the spoon like a hammer and dig in and open the mouth really wide, but that's the wrong way. Intellectually, etiquette says that you take a little bit, you clean the edge, and then you tilt your face slightly and take this. You know, there's something attractive about eating. So we have to, in fact, eating can be very sensual if you want it to be.
I love eating, by the way.
Yes, me too. So that's the soup spoon and the soup plate.
Okay.
Now, if you want to understand the etiquette rules, we have BMW, which most of us understand to be the vehicle, but it's bread, meat, and water, which means anything bread is to the left, anything main course is central, and then anything that is beverage, whether it's hot or cold, is always to your right.
Okay.
So sometimes you have a starter of soup, then you
now
come in.
Now we see 2 forks and 2, what's that? How do we arrange that?
Right. Normally you have the soup to start with, then sometimes you have a salad course, which would be the next set of knife and fork. And then here is the main course.
Okay. Is it proper to use knife to eat salad and bread? Because I see people having all this finger foods and they're here cutting using the knife just to eat what they got, like samosa. And I'm wondering, why would you do that? It's a finger food.
Yes. Samosa, spring rolls, they're finger foods. But then you have certain foods that may be on a cocktail stick,
Okay.
which you would then use to pick and then eat.
Okay.
But we always have bread on our side plate. And many people pick up this bread with their hands and eat over their main course. But actually, what we're supposed to do is we cut the bread with our side knife. We take some butter. We put the knife down.
Okay.
We pick it up with our right hand and we eat a little. Enough not to blow up our mouth, just a little. And we're chewing gently. And then we're going for the next piece.
Okay.
Let me also talk about the napkin.
Yes.
The napkin should be resting on the knee. But if one is eating something like draw soup or something that could spoil the attire, we now put the napkin into our collar area. So let us go on to the next course. Many people are they're confused about how to hold the cutlery. The cutlery should be held with the 4 fingers on top of the knife and fork. The actual utensil should settle inside the palm of the hand. So you would actually begin to eat. Now, often people ask me, what if I'm eating spaghetti or rice or something as such? Then you are allowed to put your knife down, transfer the fork into your right hand and begin to eat. Now,
I usually use the spoon to swirl the spaghetti sometimes.
Yes.
I use the soup spoon. I get the fork and I used to swirl it.
Correct.
Is that acceptable?
That is very acceptable.
Okay.
What you do is that you would get the spaghetti and you would twist it with your fork until there's no long hanging spaghetti and then you are able to eat. You know,
in line. Oh, sorry.
Very unladylike.
many people do ask, must I use a knife and fork for rice, for spaghetti? No, you don't. So let's go on to the main course. Now, often we have chicken, fish, or beef, and people often open their mouth very wide, which is not nice. We are not supposed to see the whole, mouthful of teeth.
Okay.
So what we're going to do, we put the fork inside the beef, chicken, fish. We now use the knife to cut. We are not drilling.
But Nigerian meat sometimes are very hard.
Yes,
You have to really saw them.
Yes. If you have to do that, that's fine, but you wouldn't do it aggressively. You know, some people would do, but you just do it gently. And then once you do that, you now tilt your face slightly and eat the food. Now, many people eat this way. That is wrong. You're supposed to lift the fork. Years ago, you had to sit with a very straight back, lift your food up to your eye level, and then eat it. But I don't think many people do it that way anymore. So that's how you would eat your main course. You always have the hump, providing you are using a knife and fork, the hump must always be above, because you see many people eating this, and that is, it is incorrect. That is not good etiquette.
Now, so if you want to eat rice, well, how would you eat when the hump is above and you're holding it like this?
People who are not sort of educated or knowledgeable about dining etiquette may do it just because they think it's right. But no, you are allowed to put your knife down, exchange the fork into your right hand, and now begin to eat.
Fantastic. Now, okay, go ahead.
Now, my children,
Yes.
my mother is a huge fan of eat your food and finish it very quickly.
Yes.
So they have learned how to stuff. Now, when they are eating, you see the balls here, and I'm trying so hard to stop them, to tell them that it's wrong for you to stuff your mouth.
Yes.
How do I do that?
Well, one of the ways in which I try and educate people is you only put enough, if they're using the cutlery correctly, it would be very difficult to stuff their mouth. So what you do is ask them to cut it into small pieces and chew their food at least 10 times before they swallow. You see, so many people eat so quickly, they are not savoring the taste of the food.
All right, so we've been learning how to eat a proper main course. We also see the entrees here. We skipped the entrees. Oh, she don't have done that before the main course.
No, it's
But the
People don't know
dessert-
what it's called entree.
Okay, she doesn't know what entree is.
Okay, there are little finger foods that would be on the table. So if I can just quickly say that when you see peanuts, for example, on the table, you see people reaching over, grabbing a whole handful. Actually, peanuts on the table are the most unhygienic food you could think of eating, because people could have been to the toilet, they put their hands there, blown their nose, put their hands there, and you're picking them. So what you do is you put a few peanuts into your hand, and then you begin to eat them one by one.
I do that.
Also, if you have something like crisps, you wouldn't open your mouth to try and accommodate this whole crisp. So again, you break it in your hand, and then you eat a little. I know wahala.
Yeah. Now we have all the W, the drinks.
Yes.
How do we handle all these glasses? I see these glasses and I have no idea what is used for. How do I recognize water from the wine glass and the champagne glass?
We have here
The brandy glass.
assorted water glasses.
Okay. So those are water
These
glasses.
are water glasses. They can also be used for juice.
Okay.
They can be used for juice as well. I'll be very quick with those. So there are an assortment of water glasses. This can also be used as a water glass, but it can also be used as a brandy glass as well.
Like whiskey and all.
Now, this is an original brandy glass. Please do, I do apologize, I broke this glass just before we came on air, but this is a brandy glass. You only put a little amount, and then you often see people, you know, maturing it in their hand before they now drink.
With it.
Yes, yes, there's a disco move with it. Yes, and then we have a champagne flute. Now, a champagne flute is tall because when you pour the champagne, it usually now rises up and then settles down. So that is a correct champagne glass. This is a sherry glass.
It's a sherry.
Sherry, yes, a port glass. Then we have the Scottish toddy, which is for a shot for whiskey. Normally, the Scottish people would have a shot of whiskey and then
lime and salt.
Yes, lime and salt, or they follow it with beer. Yes, or stout.
Oh gosh, those days.
Those days.
And then I'm on again now.
This is a red wine glass. Most red wine glasses are very fat at the bottom, but then they go to a smaller upper flute. And that is simply because red wine is to be kept at room temperature. So normally the correct way to hold a red wine glass is so that your body heat is maintaining that.
But I hear you can
room
refrigerate some red wine. Is that true?
Yes, a lot of people that I know drink red wine cold. But traditionally, it's not meant to be
room
so.
temperature.
And then this is a red wine glass, a white wine glasses, which have,
There's a difference.
yes. There are different, you know, some of the glasses all can be used for the same thing. But white wine glasses have a wider,
I see the difference.
So these are all white wine
they are
glasses.
white wine glasses.
So it means I don't have a red wine glass.
Nice. I never knew that.
Yes.
Okay, what is
So
the,
the mouth
This
for the
small one,
this is a white wine, right?
Yes, this is white wine. And
What
it
about
can
the other
also
one?
be used for fruit juice at a table.
which
What's
is
the
a glass,
smoothie glass?
This one has an assorted choice which you can use. You can use it for ice cream sundae, which is a dessert. You can use it for red wine. It's more of a red wine glass because of its chunky size. But understanding the silverware, you'll find that you can use so many glasses for the same thing. It's just that you wouldn't do what somebody did in Abuja when we went and sort of had this for wine.
Yeah,
As a
that's
boo-boo.
totally wrong.
Yes.
I've not heard from Nima since. Nima, aren't you feeling what's going on?
Yeah, I'm feeling it, of course. In fact, I'm
Right.
surprised.
Now, let's talk about ladies crossing their legs. There's some ladies, how is a proper way to sit while you're, because sometimes you just get up, obviously, you just sit down anyhow. Is there a
Yes.
proper way of sitting down while at the dining table?
Yes, your upper torso is supposed to be straight.
Okay, now.
If we
Like
can
that.
all do that, thank you. It's supposed to be straight so that whilst you're eating, digestion flows well. If you are
Slouching.
It
slumped
can be,
down,
can get stuck somewhere.
indigestion, upset tummy, so
Is
many
that why I
things.
always have that?
It's possible.
Can we also go that how to drink as
Yes,
well?
how
Okay.
to drink.
Yes. Some people just open their mouth and pour. But actually, we're all mature ladies here, married. We kiss the glass.
Oh, kiss the glass. Ah, I like
yeah.
the kissing part.
I did
And when
something that was
you-
wrong.
Sorry?
I filled my mouth just now, and then my cheek got bloated, and I realized it was wrong. I'm supposed to just
Yeah.
take a little sip.
Sip a
Ew,
little.
kiss the glass. That's
Kiss
that's
the
key.
glass.
Kiss the glass.
And actually, if you want to sex it up as well, you kiss the glass, drink, hold the glass there until you've swallowed,
And you drop it.
then you put it. You
That
don't
looks really
drop it.
appealing.
You put it down.
Oh, that's so
It looks really appealing.
Yeah.
As in, I saw you doing it, and
That's
it
very
was
sensual. Let me
Yes.
try.
First lady in the Let me just go on to this as well.
Yes,
It's very important.
Yes.
Now, we do not do this, but we do back and forth.
Back and forth.
We now put the teaspoon back on the side. We now
kiss.
Kiss the glass. What if it's hot and burns your tongue like he did for her this morning? Like
actually, when you're drinking tea or any hot beverages, you're supposed to let your lip touch the beverage first.
Not your tongue.
You must have allowed plenty to go in. So if you,
and it's hot to burn you, and you're like,
yes. Then there is the mug. You see in our society,
yeah,
spoon there.
yes.
Very bad.
So I think the cameramen are feeling it, but they understand.
There are so many social habits that people are doing day in, day out, and they don't realize.
There's a
They're
question on
giving
Twitter.
the whole story
If I'm
away.
dying-
There's a question on Twitter for her. It said, Egwagi says, don't we as Africans have our own etiquette? Must we copy the West? I enjoy eating semo with my fingers. And Osaka is also saying the same thing, but we are Africans. Can we develop our own style? Must we follow the Weibo dining etiquette?
Okay, good.
Sure, you get that question a lot.
I get that question a lot. One thing I always, I can't say it enough, is that every country can stick by their tradition. I use my hand to eat. But there is still a method of eating with your hands. For example, if I am going to eat okra with eba, I will not use my full hand to dish to portion
And turn it
the-
like this.
Turn it like this.
And now land it
Throw
on the other
up,
hand.
Yeah.
And now cut it from there.
And then put my head. You understand? There
Someone
is
is
still
also
a
asking
method.
a very,
The
very
Chinese
funny
use chopsticks.
Yeah.
It's traditional. It's fine. But we must look at how are we? What message are we giving out? We must try and make it look as attractive as possible. Also, if you're out with international guests or foreign guests, you must know what to eat and when to eat it.
Well, fantastic. I think we learned quite a bit. Unfortunately, we don't have it all the
But
time.
it's also important chewing with your mouth closed.
Yes,
Yeah.
you must chew with your
Yeah.
mouth closed. Then, whilst you have food in your mouth, you don't drink.
And don't let the rice drop inside the water. That's disgusting. Unfortunately, we have to close the show. We have just very little time. I wish you could do this because I love eating out.
Yes,
I absolutely.
yes.
You can
There's
see me.
so much
I'm in my
to talk
element
about.
when I see food.
There's
I love eating
buffet
out.
etiquette.
Yeah.
There's
We gotta bring it back for all that.
Buffet,
Wonderful.
yeah. I always overdo it. I
They
don't
just
know.
keep food inside the bag.
Yes, yes. Things are under the table.
No gomoya.
All right, that's all we can take. Unfortunately, I wish you could do this all day. Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast at 11:30 p.m. tonight. You can also watch previous episodes by going to YouTube/TV Entertainment and search for YourView. Catch us on Google Plus too. Look for TVC Entertainment. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you so much.
Gotta come back.
Thank
Please.
you. Thank you.
God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.